Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS Slate Breakdown for Wednesday, July 2nd. We're here, we're breaking it down. We have a ton of baseball today. We have 19 games in total. There's a ton of doubleheaders, but for this, we will be going over the afternoon games, the main slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. We do have a free 7-day trial through the app stores, Android or iOS. If you've never tried us out, try us out there. We also do have a brand new app called the Props Optimizer. It is free. We have ads to pay for it, or there's a $10 subscription. You choose, but go download it. Give us a 5-star review. Helps us a ton. Now, let's jump in and check out what we got going for today. As always, we're going to start off by the perfect lineups and the winning lineups on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Now, let's jump in. I'm on FanDuel now, so we'll just start off with that perfect lineup. We're going to have to go to yesterday as we already have a few games and a few home runs going on today. So, yesterday, Zach Gallen was the pitcher that got it done. I pretty much wrote him off, and he bounced back with a huge performance. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 10 Ks versus San Francisco. Congrats to all that played him. Then we have a 2-man Arizona stack, a 3-man Texas stack, and a few one-offs with 290.5 being that perfect lineup score. And the winning lineup went to Inverted Cheese. Congrats for the takedown in 20K. They had Yamamoto. He was chalky, but he went nuts. Then a good old Colorado and Texas stack. 2 teams we absolutely talked about. I loved the leverage with Colorado. It's not very often that you get a sub, pretty much everybody under 10% owned for a Colorado stack in Colorado. So congrats to Inverted Cheese. You got it done. 223.5 was that lineup score. And let's check out DraftKings. So perfect lineup went to Gallen, went to Yamamoto. Then we had just one in Colorado. We had 2 in Texas, 2 in KC, and 2 in Arizona to round it all out. 230.1 perfect lineup score, and the winning lineup went to Need Lunch Money. They had Gallen and Shane Baz, who both went nuts. And then a 2-man Colorado stack, 5-man Texas, one off of Eugenio Suarez. So once again, 5-2-1 lineup construction gets it done on FanDuel, or on DraftKings, Now, let's get into today's slate and see what we can uncover here. So, starting with pitchers, we have 10 games on both slates, and high-owned pitchers, we got Hunter Brown, 24%. Now, thing here is that he is in Colorado, and it is 90 degrees with the wind blowing a little bit from first base to third base, but also a little bit out to left field. So we have some very, very good hitting weather with 90 degrees in Colorado. 5-star alert score. Hunter Brown has been absolutely amazing this year, but he is 22% less fantasy points away, and this game is in Colorado. So, there might be some leverage going with some Colorado stacks here. You never know what's going to happen with pitching in Colorado. The ball just doesn't move the same, and the ball flies very easily when hit. So, while I do love Hunter Brown, I think he's been absolutely amazing all season. Don't know if I'm going to get to over 25% of him. Now, all in all, what can we say about this guy? He has just been crazy good. 2.91 FIP over his last 20, 31% K rate, right around the same numbers over the last 5. StatCast data is unbelievable. We should note that he has been keeping the ball down. 51% ground balls and only 2 barrel balls. Guys have really, really had a hard time teeing him up. When they do hit the ball hard, it's been on the ground a lot of the time. So with that, definitely have some interest in Brown, but understand this game's in Colorado and there's spectacular hitting weather there today. Next, we got Sagano, 6K, 24% out. Look, Sagano can have some really, really good games, but he needs movement. He needs to be able to place his ball, on the edges because he just doesn't have much velo. His StatCast data is a little scary. Rangers have been hitting lately, especially against righties, and I gotta say I'm a little interested in the Rangers stacks versus Sagano. I don't mind having some Sagano as a pitcher at 6K because his ceiling is, mid-20s, maybe 30, but most of the time I think he's going to get you low teens, and it's just not going to really help you win a GPP. Next, we got Logan Gilbert, 9.5K, 24% owned. This is my favorite pitcher on the day. I'm probably going to have a lot of him on both sites. Gilbert has been very, very good over the last few years. 3.17 FIP over the last 20, 3.75 over the last 5. K rate, mid-30s. StatCast data is a little scary, but we do have the help of T-Mobile Park there in Seattle, where he's averaging 40% more fantasy points, and opponent team splits very, very in his favor. The BVP data is kind of rough versus KC, though. They have teed him up a little bit. 2 of the last 3 times they've put up at least 3 runs, but there is also a game in Seattle where he goes 7 innings, 1 earned run, and 7 Ks. Definitely interested in Gilbert, and he's my favorite one. Next, we got the Miz. Mizarella sticks, Jacob Mizarowski, 10.5K, 23% owned. Guy has been absolutely dealing since he's been up in the big leagues. 29, 24, and 23. He's up to 10.3K in a tough spot versus the Mets. I don't mind some, but I do think his price is up there a little bit, and there's other places to go as well. I'm going to have some, not going to go overboard. Next, we got Merrill Kelly, 9.1K versus the Giants. Merrill Kelly has been just quietly dealing lately. 2.88 FIP over his last 5s with a 31% K rate. That is elite level stuff. And then over the last 20, a 3.28 FIP. So not all that much higher, and 26% K rate. So the big change here is the K rate is a little lower over the longer term, but he's been in great form lately, and he's done well versus the Giants. One issue, though, is he is averaging 27% less fantasy points at home. And splits are in his favor. 26.7% combined K rate. Definitely interested in some Merrill Kelly here. Now let's get to some pivots. Got to start with Clayton Kershaw. He's only 8K. He has 24 to 27 in 3 of the last 4 games. Dude's been dealing. A little worrisome seeing a 4.18 FIP over a 2.28 ERA, because I do think he could be due for a little bit of regression here, but he is in a spectacular spot. White Sox striking out at 34% versus lefties. Low average. Low WOBA. ISO is 172, so when they do tee it up, they hit the ball hard. But all in all, I think it's a very, very interesting spot for Clayton Kershaw at 8K. The ceiling for that price is absolutely there, and he's low owned. I'm very interested. Next we got Yusei Kikuchi, 7.7K, only 4% owned versus the Braves. Braves haven't been all that great versus left-handed hitting. Kikuchi's been dealing lately, 3.16 FIP, 31% K rate. The last 20, he's at 3.85 and a 25% K rate. We know this about him. He is boom bust. He has a huge ceiling. He can get blown up also. He's averaging 26% less fantasy points away. There's also near 90-degree temps in Atlanta. Winds blowing out slightly. This is one of those spots where I want both sides. I want some Brave stacks. They could totally light him up, hit a ton of home runs, and then the Angels bullpen is terrible, so they could put up a crooked number easily. But Kikuchi could also come out, have another game like last time where he goes 7 innings, 12 Ks, and no earned runs, or 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. He has that ability to put up those huge K numbers, but can get hit. I like both sides of it, and I do think he's going low owned, so I like the pitcher side. Next, Will Warren, 7,800. This price is too cheap for this man. He has a 2.5 FIP over his last 5 with 29% K rate. Over the last 20, 3.21 FIP and a 29% K rate. StatCast data is good. He's versus Toronto, which is, not the best matchup in the world. They have a low K rate. Average is decent. WOBA's decent. ISO's decent. But Will Warren has been very good and has solid upside. And for that reason, at 7,800, I have a lot of interest. Next, we got Shata. Look, over the last 2 years, he's carried a high FIP, but that ERA has stayed very low. Every now and then there's pitchers that just can handle it, can just somehow get out of those jams over and over and over again to make it where their ERA does not go up that much. Shata is one of those. Now, the worry thing here is he only went 77 pitches in his first outing in a month and a half. I would expect him to be able to go 85-ish this year, or this start, and he's only 8.5K. So he's at a discount price, and he is near what he has averaged pitch count-wise. Over the last 20, he averages 89 pitches. Over the last 5, it's 88. So if I'm thinking he's, probably around 85 pitches or so as far as a limit today, he's pretty much there. I think Shata is going overlooked a little bit today, in a great spot versus Cleveland, who can't hit lefties, and he's been good versus them before. However, only 18 plate attempts, so don't look too much into that BVP data, but I think Shata is extremely interesting. Now, let's get over to FanDuel, see what we got here. Our high owned, we got Gilbert, Brown, and Shata. Gilbert, 9,400, too cheap, huge ceiling, love that spot. Hunter Brown, we got to be cognizant of the fact that it is in Colorado. I like him, don't love him. Shata I'm interested in. The Miz at 9,300 is super interesting. Will Warren, price at 8,800, still have some interest. And obviously Kikuchi and Kelly, I am both interested in here. Even don't mind Kershaw at 8,500. The fact is that he's versus the White Sox, and he's been super efficient. 6 innings, 69 pitches. 78 pitches, 5 innings. 81 pitches, 7 innings. 82 pitches, 5 innings. On limited pitches, he can get very deep into this game, and White Sox are striking out at 34%. So I think there's big-time ceiling in that spot for Kershaw. I don't mind some Kershaw. Now, let's get into some stacks before we round this out. Good old FanDuel stacks, our high-owned stacks. For today, Astros versus Austin Gomber. Gomber's been terrible. Great hitting weather in Colorado. Game is in Colorado, as I said. 104% owned, but it's going to be hard to get away from this game in Colorado today. Don't mind some. Probably not going to go overboard. I do think 104% owned is probably too high on this slate, but they are going to project super well. Our highest projected is probably them too. And also Milwaukee. Milwaukee is going to go against Tidwell, and he hasn't been good. He has a FIP of 7. We got 8.5 run total over there. I have some interest in Milwaukee. I'm not going to go overboard. I think we may be projecting him a little bit too high, and just due to the small sample size of Tidwell. Cincinnati. Not totally sure who's going to be starting for Boston yet, as they have to finish their first game before getting their next, but we have great hitting weather. Cincinnati is absolutely in play today. The Dodgers have an opener and then likely Sean Burke. Wheels up. Dodgers obviously look great, as they do pretty much every single day. Now, our high value spot, we got White Sox versus Kershaw. Kershaw's been dealing, but the FIP is much higher than the ERA lately, so maybe there's some regression due, and they do hit the ball hard versus lefties. Angels versus Fuentes. Absolutely love this spot for Angels. I'm probably going to have a lot of Angels. Fuentes has been getting blown up. He has big time upside, but hey, this guy is only 20 years old, hasn't pitched even the minors very long, and the Braves are letting him take his lumps. I don't mind some Angel bats. I don't mind Atlanta ones today as well. High ceiling, Cubs versus Bibee. Bibee has been very good lately, but Cubs bats are just on an incredible pace, just been crushing the ball. Have to have some of them. It's warm in Wrigley. Wind isn't working in the hitter's favor today in Wrigley, but the wind is light and it's warm. The ball's going to fly. Seattle versus Noah Cameron, don't mind a little bit. Baltimore versus Evaldi. Evaldi only went 45 pitches last game, so maybe he gets up to 55 today. 60 at the high end. All in all, you're going to go against the Rangers bullpen a decent amount. Baltimore makes some sense, and if Valdi struggles a little bit, he could totally get blown up, and it could be a real short game for him. Arizona versus Rope. Rope is, Arizona's good enough. I don't really even care who they're going against. Rope has been solid there, or Roop, sorry. High leverage stacks, we got Yankees versus Berrios. Berrios is one of those pitchers where I always want to play on both sides of him. He can be very good, or he can get absolutely blown up, kind of like Kikuchi. So I don't mind Yankee stacks. We already went over Cubs. Those are obviously interesting. Let's clip the team tab. Houston, 6.3 versus Gomber. Makes a ton of sense to go there. Dodgers at 5.6 versus Eastern, then likely Burke. Also very good. Braves at 4.9, super interesting. Boston at 4.9, likely versus Nick Martinez. I'm fine going there a little bit. Yankees at 4.7, we talked about that. Cincinnati at 4.6, great hitting weather in Boston, and it really plays up when you have that kind of hitting weather there. Angels versus Fuentes, wheels up, love that spot. Texas I'm interested in. Cubs we covered. Milwaukee, super interesting. We have them projected very high, so can go there as well. I don't mind some Colorado stacks. They're only at a 4.2 implied total, but you just never know what you're going to get out of a pitcher in Colorado. Hunter Brown is incredibly good, but could he get out of the game early, get blown up a little bit? Absolutely possible. If, the ball's not sinking to get him those ground balls, then home runs can definitely fly, so a little interested in them. Baltimore makes some sense as well, and that's going to do it for us today, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Let's make some money. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later. Peace.